Hello fans of the Les Cheneaux Islands. Thank you for checking out my video. I wanted to make this one as a sort of continuation of my earlier one where I was looking at cottage design here in the Les Cheneaux Islands. I figured after visiting the cottages, what better place to explore next than our boathouses. And I think most people with just even a basic knowledge of this community would tell you that one of the defining elements that makes it special are our boathouses. We take them for granted a little bit as long-time residents, but when newcomers visit the community in particular, I think they're struck by the volume that we have and how concentrated of an area that we have them. So in light of this unique feature to this community, I thought it would be fun to look at some of the design traits that make our boathouses special. Okay, the first example we'll be looking at is along the famous Snows Channel in Cedarville. And a lot of the modernized boathouses have living space above the boat wells on the second floor, and this is a great example of creating attractive living space on the second floor. You see it has these wide dormer windows on either side, giving it really great ceiling height and creating functionality for the second floor beyond just ancillary space above the boat wells. Another thing that I noticed was the windows are different than the first floor, and I'm sure the main home in both size and style. And I think that traditionally when you're creating a guest house or secondary living quarters, you don't want the scale or the customization to exceed the main house. And I think this is attractively done without outdoing the main house. So this is a really great example of a boathouse design right in the center of the islands. For the next example, we're going to head north up Snows Channel, around the point, and visit a boathouse along Hessel Point. And this is another example of a boathouse that integrates living space into the design. However, in this case, there is a second story with living space behind the boathouse rather than above it. You'll see this style from time to time in the islands. However, this is a much more modernized and customized version than any other example I've seen. It's hard to see, as you can see from the flags. It was very windy that day, but the siding is the live edge cedar siding where there's irregularities from slab to slab. It's a really cool design choice for a vacation home and for a home in this community. As you can see, they made a conscious effort to match materials and colors to the main home, just like the earlier example we looked at. And there was also an emphasis on creating outdoor space. There's a second floor balcony. It looks like a really cool place to, have a cocktail hour. The customizations are too numerous really to list here, but some of the things that stand out are the curvature along the top of the garage door, and also the cupola. I learned how that was pronounced. That matches the one on the main house. This is one of the most tricked out boathouses in the community and definitely deserving of commentary for this particular video. The final example we'll be looking at is more of a traditional boathouse in the sense that the primary purpose is protection and shelter for your boat. It's not incorporating any living space into the structure like the earlier ones we visited. This one's located along the northwest shoreline of LaSalle Island and has kind of a unique distinction of being a shared boathouse where it's a situation one neighbor has use of one boat well, the other neighbor has use of the other boat well, single structure. I'm not aware of too many instances of this, but I'm sure that they find a way to make it work because it's a really cool place. And I thought it would be a great example of a classic boathouse to take a look at. One of the distinctive elements from this area are the window frames, and that kind of brings up a key difference between this era and the earlier ones where the boathouse is matching the main home. In this era, I think it was more of a sense of the boathouse having its own style, and it didn't necessarily have to adhere to the rules or the style that the main home was adhering to. And because of that, you get the quirky window frames and you get the walls that flare outward as they do here for, I think, purely decorative purposes. I know of another place on Coryell and another boathouse on Club Point that does the same thing, and it gives it its own style and may not have much of a functional purpose. So those are our examples. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to share in the comments a boathouse that you like in the Les Cheneaux Islands, please do so. I would look forward to hearing what your feedback is and what places you like best. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you next time.